need an intro. Like, I really need an intro. It'd be so, like, awesome. But, like, who's gonna care? Did you guys care if I have an intro? Like some cool music or something like completely original. Like, that would be so sweet. But alas, I'm not really musical anymore. I don't play anything anymore, barely sing, and generally just not even talented. So, hey guys, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining me. We have awesome guest Joe Hahn tonight. He is going to take me straight down the rabbit hole, and good Lord, I have to be like ready for this roasting. Like, you better get the fire extinguisher and the flame suit, because I was evidently really reckless with my safety a couple of times when I was in Vegas, and ended up having to like have a rotating babysitting detail, which it's not terrible. Hey Henry, thanks for the share. Hey Shino, hi Kirk, hi Jeff. Who else is watching? Hey John, what's up? Who else do we have? Let's see if we can find Joey here. And we will just be like 1 minute. He's getting his stuff ready. Like, gotta set the phone camera up and everything. Nothing like a schedule. Like, I love these, especially, you know, when we don't keep to it. That's what makes it more fun. So, does anybody have questions yet? He is coming on. He owns a security and training company now. We work together. I launched our new series that was going to like piggyback on our Writer's Tactical series. So he helps teach and lecture and train for my Writer's Tactical lecture series, but that's a workshop, kind of a group workshop that we host here in California in the Bay Area. And we launched the Claudius and Valentina lecture series this last year. And so we're going to be promoting and delivering that to the writers that book us this year to speak. So it's really fun. It's super informative. What we do is we have a compare and contrast of like direct action, special operations teams versus like your local agency SWAT teams, and like what differences on like mission execution you would see commonly in those, I guess, missions for, like, for the best. Like, so if you have a SWAT team, it's executing a warrant, I guess you would say, or they call it a mission too, as far as I know. But just like the small differences that you'll see in those things, like in theater versus, you know, in a crack house in East San Jose kind of thing. Let's see what else here. I'm going to let him tell you about service and stuff like that. If you guys have questions, better get them ready or get them on deck, because I have like a 10-second lag here behind with my my iPad. So if I keep looking down, it's because I'm producing for myself tonight. I don't have a producer tonight. I'm not she has better things to do than help me. Anyway, is anybody on that was at SHOT Show too? Have anybody on the stream that was at SHOT Show besides, wow, I'm trying to look here and see. Owen, hi Gus, hi Owen, hi Tiffany, welcome, first time watcher. Hi Eric, hi Lee, hi Wee. Yeah, in Vegas at SHOT Show. So was anybody else there? Any of my friends that are watching the stream right now, was anybody else at SHOT Show? Does anybody want to go to SHOT Show? It's pretty nerve-wracking. It was like more so than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I thought it was going to... You were there? Sweet. What were you doing there? Were you just like wandering around? Were you exhibiting? Training? Tell me more. I gotta know. All right. So let's see who didn't get to go to meet up with him. It was for your birthday. Oh, how fun. My birthday's coming soon. Elsa's birthday was yesterday, so let's have a wish. Hi, Richard. Let's wish Elsa a belated birthday. got a call from the after party. Good Lord, there were so many of them. So this is what I did not know about SHOT Show. I knew that there were parties because I had received invitations to several parties before I even got there. Hi, Rusty. Thanks for joining. It was, woohoo! I have, Elsa is February 11th. Krish is the 23rd, so he's Aries, and I'm Pisces, so it's all very crazy up in here. So I did not know like just how many parties and how much networking takes place at all of these parties that are following like each night of the expo at SHOT. And so I received, like once people knew I was going, I received all these invitations and I thought, wow, how am I supposed to make all these things? And evidently I needed schooling because, hi Guy. Is it Guy? Am I saying that right? From Oklahoma. Hey, shout out Oklahoma. I didn't know that there were so many parties a night and that it's like you just have to be a really savage, like hardcore, stay up late person. And I'm not like that. I don't party anymore. I don't stay up late. Hi Rhonda, thanks for joining. I don't go hard like that anymore. I'm too old. And hi, Andrew. So I didn't know this. And people that are like seasoned veterans of SHOT Show attendance, they attend like 3 parties a night or 4 parties a night. And I had, dude, you were lucky because I would go to these parties and like stay out and talk to people endlessly. I barely even drank. Well, for the first couple nights. But I would stay up super late. Hey, Titus, thanks for joining. All right, let's see if we can get him to join here. So it was so new to me. All of it was so foreign. And it was a little bit crazy. Thanks for joining us. Ha, sure.
Easy day.
All right, so let's jump in. How many years did this make for you going to SHOT? You're not even sharing. Seriously, that's janky.
Time out.
Did you bring some for the rest of the class? He didn't bring any for the rest of the class.
All right, I'm ready. Let's do
Jesus,
this.
help me. Are you sure? We don't want to go too fast here. Okay, so hi Buck. So how many years did this make that you have been in
Guns
attendance
up.
at SHOT Show?
How many times have I been? About 3 times.
Because I was the rookie this year, which was evident. Hello, FNG. Yes, it's Gentleman Jack, and he's not sharing. Anyway, so is it always been this party, like marathon party, don't drink too early because you're not going to make it to like your 4th party of the night sitch? Because that was just frightening for me.
Well, the key is not to get sucked into the good times, but it means a huge network opportunity, getting to meet lots of people from all different aspects of the industry.
Yeah.
But no, it's easy to get because it's in Vegas, the fact that you can get sucked into the parties real quick, and not make it to the 3rd or 4th event if you're not careful.
I was glad I didn't drink like a bunch the first couple of nights. I think by the 3rd night, I was just like, I'm done. I'm so tired because I was working in between. A few of you guys know that. Like the week of SHOT Show, I was just so sleep deprived and so coked up. Not literally, but I was working. I was like going to the expo, and I even took one whole morning off. Just like I cannot go to the expo. I cannot do anything because I was on deadline. So I would like get back and then have to work for like 2, 3, 4 hours just to be able to get, because I had 100,000 words due like by the end of that week. So it was a little bone jarring. You can say hi. You can say hi to all your friends. Let's see. You've got Tiffany says hi. Kirk says hi. Who else? Hi, Morgan. So when did you decide on security? When did you decide on this venture?
Uh, uh,
Like your company,
we mean security.
the one you run?
Oh, it's more tactical training. So trying to get people in the mindset of not utilizing your weapon systems for just training or on the range. So opening up people's eyes, getting people in actual realistic training scenarios and situations. Because you go to the range and you get center focused on shooting that piece of paper behind a barrier, and that's all you train to. That's how your body's going to react when a threat comes. So trying to get people out of that box, get people thinking how to actually use their weapon system is kind of my primary goal.
So all right, I'm ready.
Thanks,
I've
Internet.
taken like 40 deep breaths. I'm ready. Okay, fatal error number one. So the first night I was there, I was late. I got shanghaied in a Uber, which I got lectured about. Like I didn't take control of the situation. Um, and then we met at the Black and Tan party. I was invited by some Ranger friends, and that was the Tab Squirrel Ranger party. And then I went to the Salient Arms party after, and you guys were going that way. So you schlepped me over there, like, make sure I get to my destination. Because at this point, I was, like, ready to get lost and a little sleepy. So don't blame you. But I got separated from my group at that point, like, I don't know, probably an hour into the party because I kept going outside because there were midgets and I was like having panic attacks. It was all bad. And I wasn't drinking, so there was like really no entertainment to be found for me. Um, but by the end of the night, like I got separated from my group. Some of them thought that I had already left. A few people just kind of meandered out solo. So I suddenly found myself like alone at this party, and the Uber driver kept canceling. Like I kept ordering Ubers and they kept canceling, and I finally just had a full-on meltdown. So fatal error number one, where was it for me?
For one, is getting sucked into, I guess, midget wrestling. I didn't uh, I didn't enjoy too much of that because Black and Tan was my main event to meet up with a gentleman named Travis Krause, and yeah, went there to kind of see where everybody was going to, and I decided to dump out early.
Yeah.
But getting sucked into the crowd and the awesomeness without having an agenda, you can definitely get left
Well,
on
and it
the
wasn't so
curb.
like I was with a few people, so it was kind of just like, you don't want to be the like the bummer that's like, I gotta bounce, I want to go. This isn't my scene. I was just kind of hanging out outside, like meeting people. There were tons of cool people, and I found that there was like a core group that I saw at the parties that I'd attended. Like all the nights following, there was a group of like 5 people that I saw at like every party I attended going forward. Because I think the following night I was going to the Cry Party and the Recon Sniper Foundation party with Rudy. And then a few of the guys were going there. So, I mean, and the meltdown was bad. Uh, I think that was like a 30 or 40-minute episode of just, and
Yeah,
the Uber drivers canceling did not help, but I should have, managed my resources better?
yeah, you definitely have to have yeah, that and had a plan. Always have an escape plan. That's my number one goal. Either whether it's in fading in the darkness and kind of ninja on people, or um, just having an exit plan as far as a Uber driver that you trust, or a taxi driver. Because believe it or not, Vegas doesn't like Uber drivers. So the best way to attack that is to get get a taxi driver you trust or a driver you
Yeah, I'm
trust. But
thinking this was just like,
definitely try not to find yourself by
well,
yourself.
thanks for that. Thanks for that good advice, boss. Now that I know, yeah, it was a little bit like the bartender was still there, and the people that built the party, like all the like sets and all that stuff for the party, they were still there. And then one of them kind of got on my Uber app, and he was he texted the Uber driver, like the third or fourth Uber driver. But I think like in like mid crying jag that was a low point. That was a serious low point for me. And I'm just not acclimated to that. I don't ever have to be by myself. Like, that was a very strange feeling for me. And it was like, I got it, like super foreign, but it was a punch in the face for sure. All right. So you thought it was advisable going forward after what? I think I texted you at like 2 a.m. Like, I don't know where I am. I'm crying. I'm upset. You're like, call Uber, taxi. Like, I think I woke you up out of a dead sleep. Sorry. But then the next morning when we were going to the expo,
it happens.
You were like, I think you need a babysitter. So George was coming that day, and George ended up getting my detail that night because we were going to the cry party, but you had other meetings that you had to attend. So George ended up babysitting me at the cry party and then schlepping me over to the Recon Sniper Foundation party. And then Jack took the watch from there. Like, George did not have to Uber with me to the Recon Sniper party. Like, I'm capable of taking an Uber, but evidently not. Because he was like, no, I'll take you over there. And he was going to go meet some Ranger buddies. He was like, I'll take you over there. I was like, you don't have to. It's fine. I can take an Uber. He's like, And then I just got the side eye from all of y'all, like, going forward. I'm not sure. Like, did we think I was going to have another panic attack? Is that what was happening?
Well, your first Uber experience was with Korean barbecue. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I could have taken a little bit more control of that situation. I guess I got punked by an Uber driver and two.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you are holding a class. Thanks, Matt. I win the background game. It was ripping down the other night when my AR fell. We had to we put the AR away because we had to take it apart.
Okay.
But all right, tell us about your class that you're having the first weekend of March.
Yeah, my phone is needs to be plugged into the wall, so I'm stuck in the kitchen.
All right.
So my integrated pistol course, it definitely kind of goes beyond just your basic pistol course because you're not only learning how to use it, but you want to use that tool effectively. So we're getting into different mindsets on why you carry that thing and when you need to deploy that thing, and actually getting in some situations where you'll actually get involved in shooting and thinking about that stuff instead of my goal. Usually when you go to the range, your goal is to shoot paper and shoot it real tight group. But that's a horrible goal to get into bad reps with because David's General's Jack. But it's
bourbon. He does not drink scotch.
When you get to that point where you needed to use that weapon system, that's what you're going to be thinking about.
Sorry.
Depends on the occasion. But so knowing that that gun, that firearm is not your only option, you definitely we'll do a little bit of combative stuff. We'll talk about some other weapon systems such as the blade system that I carry, thanks to 2 on Tom Kyer and 2 on Harley Elmore that I trained with when I was in the Navy. You definitely need to have a plan in different scenarios, and just going to the range and shooting is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Also going to kind of cover some basic combat medicine, I call it, but everyday things you may see in such a gunfight, such as bullet holes and bleeding and whatnot, and how to stop that. Because believe it or not, back in World War II and Vietnam and stuff, they found out the biggest casualties was simple wounds that could have been treated with a compression bandage, some impressionated gauze, or even a tourniquet. A lot of people don't know how to use that stuff. Believe it or not, most hospitals don't know how to use tourniquets. Most nurses, so they receive a guy, he's already stable, but the first thing you'll see in getting that fight, even coming down to yourself, is you get in that position where you may have been injured in the exchange of fire and whatnot. You need to know how to treat yourself so that you actually walk away from that fight.
Yeah, I at Urban Shield training 2 years ago, The Taiwanese team came through, and they were one of the first ones to stop my bleeder. But he had a rat's tourniquet, and he had my bleeder, and he was holding it, and he was like screaming for it. And he went, I guess in the translation, like they were not all English speakers, so they had an interpreter explaining the scenario and the training set to them. So they like breached the room, put down the bad guys, cleared the rooms, and then assessed the wounded. And I was one of the wounded. I had a bleeder, and it was like a nick and arterial, and he staunched it with his hands, and he was squeezing the shit out of my arm. I was like, it's okay, bro. It's just a scenario. Ease up. But he screamed for that tourniquet, and when he got it, he ratcheted that sucker down, and I had the full bruising, like stem to stern. I was like, well, he put it on properly. Like, he actually applied the thing, and the evaluator had to like step in. I'm like, dude, the circulation's gone. It's down. It's not ratcheting down any further. Like, he did it. Give him an A. It's done. But yeah, I think most people don't know that. Like, they get a little bit intimidated by the tension and someone saying, oh, it hurts. Like, yeah, it's going to hurt, but you're not going to bleed out. Class B, could this Class B info be applicable to civilian CCW holders?
Yeah, kind of like that. It's especially applicable to guys that carry, because most you guys know it's fairly easy to get a concealed carry license. They kind of just cover the when and when not to use all the legal stuff. But you go to your basic CCW class, you don't really lose. I mean, you don't use the actual gun. You don't learn how to shoot it really, and actually getting into scenarios and actually using it. Good thing about my class is getting into those situations and getting in that mindset of those situations and be like, all right, I know when I can and when I can't, but like, how would I use this gun efficiently? I'm not going to stand here and be squared up to the guy like I would on a range. I'm not in Oklahoma City, so you just fire 50 rounds at a piece of paper, and you kind of just stand there in whatever stance you want. And if you get into an actual, I call every fight that you carry guns a gunfight, but if you get into an actual gunfight, you're not going to be standing there squared up to the guy you're shooting at. You may be moving around. You're going to have different body positions, and so getting into those beforehand will make you more confident, and then when it actually comes to execute.
So for this class, are you going to do like moving and shooting? Are you going to do can shoot, must shoot, like hypothetical scenarios? Like, does all the legal entanglements kind of come into it a little bit, like as you lecture and do practical?
We won't get too much. Well, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so definitely take what I say with a grain of salt. I got some different type of rules of engagement that I kind of live by, but I'll get kind of what Oklahoma kind of covers and some stuff to kind of think about when you do it. But there'll definitely be some moving and shooting, because you're definitely, when you get into that engagement and that entanglement, you're basically what we call the X. You're on that X. A lot of people don't realize this. They'll freeze and start doing their business right there, but you got to get off that X. You got to make that guy that's engaging you start his thinking process all over again and reevaluate the situation while you're getting back on top of that situation, because you definitely want to be the feeder in those situations. You don't want to be the receiver kind of getting caught off guard. You definitely want to fight to a better position on that person.
So when someone completes the class, what skills are they going to have accumulated once they finish the course with you for 2 days?
Definitely a better ability to handle their firearm more confidently. We're definitely going to have get you drawn from out of your concealment position. So not just standing there shooting from a bench. You're going to be able to draw and present your firearm and shoot it accurately with confidence. That's the biggest thing I see people. They'll go to the range, they'll have this funky loadout they do, and then when they get ready to carry back, they load it completely differently, which is kind of crap, because you go to the range and you train. It's like tying your shoes backwards all the time, but then when you go outside the door, you tie them the right way, and you're like, why would you do that? So now we definitely do some shooting and moving, more confidence in deploying their weapon system, carrying it. Definitely some we'll cover some gear stuff that people don't think about. They'll kind of buy the flashy stuff and not realize that, hey, when when I start wrestling around on the ground, start moving and trying to get the cover, all of a sudden my inside the waistband holster shifted 180. And I'm trying to draw where I thought it was. Now I'm drawing from my back or my side, or held my gun sitting there 3 feet in front of me because I wanted to get this cool flashy holster that I saw some guy on YouTube
Yeah.
wear.
So what should people bring? What do they need in order to take your class?
Definitely a firearm they're comfortable carrying. Some at least 300 rounds of ammo, holster. I prefer inside the waistband, but if all you have is outside the waistband, we can work with that. Any type of tourniquet system they're comfortable with. If they're not really comfortable or familiar with it, I could definitely suggest some. I have some extras because we'll be working on. I got like a cool little fake leg and a whole little medical kit that we do some of this basic medical training on. And ability to take notes. Always go somewhere we have the ability to take notes, and the eagerness to learn. Some comfortable clothes. I definitely don't have people come up because there's definitely those competition shooters that have this fancy rig they go to the range and shoot at, but those guys don't carry those big old rigs every day, so they may be really fast drawing from this holster that basically is a magnet on their hip, and they have all these fancy magazines turned a certain way, but they don't carry it like that, so it kind of defeats the purpose of them being super fast, because they don't defeat clothing and stuff when they train all the time and when they shoot.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit useless and superfluous at that point. So the point behind your class is mainly you should have a medic on site. I think Joey is a medic. He's had the training a little bit, and I'm an EMT, so there's that. So
yeah.
So it's going to be confidence, repetition, further comfort with your weapon, shooting from retention, and like drawing from retention. Am I saying that right? I think so. Concealment. All of these things. And then, is there still space in your class?
Concealment. Yeah, there's a few spots left, definitely. Like I said, we're also going to kind of cover some intro, like basic intro to blade work, because I've been blessed by the gurus and the Tuans to full on teach that stuff. But I do know a lot of those guys, and introducing people to that and getting people thinking about those weapon systems is also a good thing. So I'll cover what I carry and why I carry and when I would deploy that kind of stuff. I know there's a couple guys that usually go down to Warriors Way down in Wichita Falls. I think they're going to come up and take the pistol class. So my big thing is working with those guys. We're going to kind of integrate this into a more advanced course, getting people moving with not just a firearm or not just a blade, but kind of incorporating all these systems together, and kind of working with I want to say live partners, but actually doing some drilling where you're actually moving and shooting and you're messing around and trying to get to that advanced level. Because like I said, you can only get so far on paper targets and plastic dummies. You got to kind of have those sparring sessions, as you say, and getting involved in some realistic training.
Train as you play. Yeah. Should definitely train like you fight or train like you work. Whether that's high heels or not, or a short dress or not. Just kidding. Okay, so I guess I should bring a couple changes of clothes, huh? So would you not recommend this class for a beginner? Like, what level do you think your shooters should have accomplished before they register for this class and try and take it? This particular class that you have upcoming.
Having some type of basic knowledge of kind of how to use your pistol would be preferable. I mean, I'm not going to turn people away. Anybody that's eager to learn and wants to get out there and get amongst it. But definitely somebody with a basic knowledge and a basic pistol class would be preferable, because it'll kind of help keep everybody else moving along. If you know how to shoot properly in the safety of firearms, then definitely bring it on, and we'll take you to the next level.
Sounds good. All right, guys, do you have any questions for Joe while we are still here? Because it's getting late where he is, and I only have him for a short while. I only rented him for half an hour tonight. Anybody? Because I'm scrolling here. Thanks for sharing your skills and teaching us to be efficiently prepared, brother. Is this Guy? Guy? I'm going to say Guy. Austin. Is his name Austin? Well,
Guy Austin.
Where can you get more info?
Awesome.
I am going to
He's good people.
Include Joe's website.
So where you can get more info, I definitely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my website has most of the info. Facebook frowns upon anything that's entangled with firearms because they keep trying to think I'm trying to sell it for some reason when I advertise my class. It's like, no, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just trying to inform people how to use their tools properly. But they're liberals when they run this place anyway. So, but no, definitely my website at integratedtacticaltraining.com.
So I'm going to include.
They have the classes listed on there. I'm also.
Sorry. There's a lag between our audio, so I'm hearing it before, and then it's delaying half a second when it gets to you. I'm going to include his website and the link in the description of this video, so those of you that watch on playback will be able to just go ahead and link really easily. So where you can get more info is www.integratedtacticaltraining.com. How do you feel about not keeping one in the pipe from Kevin Meeks?
So I keep one in the pipe regardless. There's different scenarios where depends on the household you live in and whatnot. Some of the guys I train with, if it's on your body, it's definitely locked and loaded and ready to deploy. But some guys, when they keep it in a safe place, say next to their nightstand or in their safe, they don't have one in the pipe. And so basically those guys actually have a real good protocol when they do that is they train for that. So if it's not on their body, if they have to pick it up from a stand or in a book bag or something, they train to jack that slide back and put one in the pipe. So if they're carrying it in a book bag or something, because you got to lay that thing down, and the last thing you want to do is turn around and have somebody drawing down on a gun you don't have on your body. But that's personal preference. I always have it on my body. But if you're having it at night when you carry it like in a nightstand or something or in a safe, you got small kids, you don't want messing with it, just in case somebody may pull that trigger by accident. It's definitely something you should train to. A lot of people, like they said, they don't feel comfortable with in the pipe. When they go to the range, they lock and load and they start blasting away and they don't ever train to rack that slide. So in the instance when that comes up and your stress induced level goes way through the roof, you're going to pull that gun, you're going to pull that trigger like it's in a pipe because that's what you do at the range. And believe it or not, it's going to go click and you're going to freeze. And then there's an instance, I think, actually where a man and his young boy were in a store and some guy was robbing the place and he pulled his gun out, shot it, and realized he didn't carry one of the pipes and it feel better. And it clicked and the guy ended up getting shot, which sucked. But yeah, definitely I carry one in the pipe because that thing's not going to go off unless I tell it to, because I'm the master and commander of that tool. But if I don't have it on my body, I may have it in places that may not have it. So when I pick it up, it's an automatic response. Just like I said, when you put your pants on, you put your left leg and right on, you kind of do it without thinking. If I'm picking a gun up, I'll always rack the slide because it's not on my body. And when it's on my body, I know I'm deploying it and ready to shoot right off the bat.
So Titus would like to know, are you considering an introductory course? And I actually think you have one that you offer, right? It's just not scheduled right now.
Yeah, I do offer a basic introductory course. Obviously, I go above and beyond than your basic introductory. I'll kind of touch base on mindset, situational awareness, and stuff like that. Oh, my buddy Sean's on here. Sean from Dirty 30. No big deal.
Sean from Dirty 30.
But yeah, no, I do.
Now I need to know.
I do a basic pistol course, and I'm also doing after that advanced. Yeah, and so after that course, I'm actually doing a night kind of a low light, call it Defeat the Darkness. So utilizing a flashlight and knowing how to operate your gun involving your flashlight, either whether it's handheld or gun held. Definitely go through the pros and cons of that, how to effectively use that. Because, I mean, what are you going to do when somebody breaks in your house? It's usually at night when you're waking up, you're not going to be able It's not going to be a comfortable daylight situation like you imagine, where it's 70 degrees, the wind's not blowing, and you got your pants on right. It's always going to be in the middle of the night where you're probably butt naked and you're reaching for your sidearm, and you got to reach for a flashlight unless you got some polished eyeballs. But no, after, like I said, getting to the flashlight course to kind of get guys comfortable with that as well. I prefer a handheld flashlight, just because I have small kids around. If I hear something go bump in the night, last thing I want to do is run around with my gun light, pointing my gun at my kid. But that's also personal preference, you know. I know that some guys like the flashlight on the gun because it does free up your hand. At the same time, I do some cool stuff with my flashlight so that my hand's still free and I'm not going to lose that flashlight when I start striking people. Does the introductory course dictate skills transition smoothly to the course that was talked about this evening? Titus, yes, it does. Any level of basic pistol, I can, like I said, I'll kind of bring you up as long as you know gun safety and know kind of the basics of shooting, because I'll cover some in-depth precision shooting stuff, some fundamentals, and I kind of crawl, walk, run is kind of how I build up my classes. But you'll have a leg up if you take a basic pistol course that I may offer, just because I kind of get into it and I kind of love teaching pistol and stuff. So some of my courses kind of run long sometimes because I'll get in some tangent and get off on some stuff, because I want to make sure that people that I pass on stuff to learn something and makes their tribe, makes their family a little stronger, because you're a one-man PSD element. It's kind of what I think about myself. And the more lethal you are, the better protected the people around you are.
So can you take the show on the road? That was another question that I thought I would ask. Like, say there's 10 people in California that want to take the class.
Yes, actually, there's a buddy of mine.
Can you take your class to another state?
Yep, no, that's easy. So like I said, I got a buddy that lives in Pennsylvania who's interested in the course. He's like, man, I can't really afford the plane tickets, but I really want to take the class. I was like, man, you get a group about 5 to 7 guys together minimum. We can take up to like 14, and then we can get a class together and get people training. As long as you got a good safe place to shoot, I'll kind of bring all the stuff I need. You guys show up with the ammo, the weapon system you want to shoot with, and I'll bring the knowledge and help you guys look at shooting in a different light. I got all kinds of friends here. Hey, Chad.
I don't have any. All right, do we have more questions? I'm trying to scroll through the comments, guys. I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm trying to scroll through and make sure that we didn't miss any. Always carry a knife. Is there anything else you want us to know about your course coming up or the other courses that you offer?
So I went and talked to so I actually had a talk with the Oklahoma City Police Department guys today. They're hitting me up for some breaching training. They were talking about some of the recent police involved shootings they had, and one involved a young lady. She was about 5'4", 5'5", about 130 pounds, nice little scrapper, but she got called up on what it seemed like a guy passed out on the side of the road. So she comes up, comes to this guy, puts medical gloves on because she thinks she's going to have to mess with some guy that's drunk and pissed all himself. When she gets out of her car, this guy's standing right there next to her quarter panel and starts choking her out. This guy is probably like 6'2", 240, so definitely outweighs her by, no matter what. He sits there and punches her in the face. So she kind of gets rocked really good, comes to and shoots this guy with the taser. But since I don't know if you guys ever mess with tasers any, but if you shoot close range taser, it doesn't spread out far enough to get that good shock. So the guy just kind of sloughed it off, put her in a chokehold, basically had her in a rear naked choke, and started going for her weapon. Luckily, this girl has trained enough to kind of sidestep that and ended up being able to draw her weapon away from him and engage this guy. But some of the things I talked about was, officers carrying blades. Like, you get in that fight for that weapon system, she's already deployed her taser. There's nothing else she can do besides hands, which, that size difference is pretty huge. And you got a guy fighting for your gun that's in your holster, and you're trying to carry that thing in there. And I also talked about guys getting separate tools and weapon systems such as blade training, because her having a blade that could have easily helped her fight to that secondary weapon system, which would have gave her the option to start feeding that guy input instead of her reacting and being a receiver. So it was actually funny. The police department guy was actually listening. He's like, "Oh man, that's actually a good concept." But it's one of those things that you got to have multiple different weapon systems. You can't just go to the range and be like, "Hey, this is my gun, and I'm good with a gun, but I don't know how any grappling skills. I don't know how any medical skills." So you get to that point where you get surprised in an alley and you're getting in a grappling situation. All of a sudden, you're getting choked out, and you're like, "Man, I can shoot the 10 rig in 25 yards, but I have no idea how to get out of this chokehold, so I'm screwed."
Yeah.
So you definitely have to get involved in different weapon systems and have an option to completely defend yourself, whether it's hand-to-hand, blade stuff, hell, stick stuff. If you carry an asp or something, having a way to get that weapon system out and fight into the next thing you need. You got to keep stepping up. So the flashlight I carry, Tiffany, my sister's asking about it, is it's called a TacWare flashlight. I got it from a buddy of mine who designed it. The cool thing about the flashlight is instead of having the push button program thing, which I'm not a fan of, because you go out through the day, it's in your pocket and you keep pushing it, so you can pull it out, you don't know what kind of program it's on. The options is actually on the bezel, so it's a positive click, so you get low light, high light, and there's a strobe feature on the one I have. But basically, so if I'm in my house, I keep it on low light just because I don't want the 10,000 looms splashing off my tile or my white wall and blinding me as well. I want to keep it a little lower looms, that way when I'm going through the house and whatnot and I'm surprising people, I can direct what I need to in front of me without getting that splashback. But obviously outside in the open, I'll go high and I'll definitely get involved with that mess. But the TacWare one, like I said, it's actually fairly cheap, so like $60. But I attach a little bungee cord on it, and I keep it for, like I said, keep it on my hand. So when I'm getting involved in stuff, I'm not losing that light. A lot of people have that fear of, all right, I'm in a fight and I have this light in my hand, but when I start grappling, obviously that light's going to go off to nowhere because it's not attached to anything. But I like having positive control on it. And, I don't know if you've ever racked anybody in the face with a roll of quarters in your hand. It's kind of the same concept. That flashlight fits nicely in your fist.
I used to have
makes it just a little bit harder.
The little thing in my gloves when I was fighting, which is actually another question I have. It's like, it's been 20 years since I've been hit hard, because I used to fight. I mean, I used to love grappling, jits, and Thai fighting and all that stuff. I mean, I was 4 nights a week at the fighting gym. But it's been a long time. It's been 3 kids. It's been a long road. And I'm like thinking, could I escape a choke? Could I still do a hip throw properly? Can I still execute these skills, like these tasks? What if I do get clocked, a good one? I mean, by someone who outweighs me by 100 pounds, how am I going to react to that? Am I going to be on the floor done? It's lights out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Definitely got to find time to train, whether like I said, whether it's grappling or it's boxing or something. The light is it's TacWare, so Tango, Alpha, Charlie, so Whiskey, Alpha, Romeo, Echo, TacWare.com. Yep. Definitely, in regards to the combat medicine, you cover full CLS course or a light version. So basically, I don't really cover anything in depth, so I'm not going to teach you how to trach somebody or do a needle decompression, even though I know how to do that stuff. It's just mostly, hey, the basics. So, bleeding, airway.
Full crike in the field.
Yeah, kind of the ABCs, bleeding, airway stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll make sure you can kind of clear the airway effectively and stop a bleed, because that's the number one thing. You can, what we call the golden hour. There's actually like the pristine 5 minutes. Like, you got to stop the major bleeds and get the guy stable before an ambulance gets there, no matter what situation. So that was the big thing overseas, is everyone knew the basics on, hey, if this guy's bleeding for some reason, I know if it's in the limbs or anywhere outside the torso besides the neck area, I'm tourniqueting it. But anywhere else, I'm stuffing it with as much gauze as I can to stop this bleed. and putting pressure on it, and then obviously getting to the next station. If it's in the facial area, obviously making sure he can breathe, clearing that airway, whether it's raking teeth out the guy or a buddy of mine, Rusty, says safety pin that tongue to the side of his cheek and make sure
So
he's
we're not
not
going to be
choking
like
on it.
setting lines or anything like that. Nothing really fun.
No, I mean, if you really want to, I'm not really certified to show you how to do an IV. I can do one, but I'm not going to teach people how to do that. I'll definitely have the ability to show you how to stop some bleeds and do some tourniquets on some guys, and then we'll do some shooting with it, so you can see how you shoot
No,
with
I'm
a
not
tourniquet on your
volunteering
arm,
as
or maybe
tribute
a
on
tourniquet
that
on
one.
your
I've
leg.
been bruised and battered and had to.
A buddy of mine asked about if I was going to introduce underwater knife fighting.
I would definitely lose that one. I cannot hold my breath for more than 8 seconds or the time it takes for me to wash my
So
face.
underwater knife fighting is an advanced class.
Epic fail. Okay, so we can get the
All right.
light on.
Underwater knife fighting class is kind of advanced. We'll do that in a flood reason. So a buddy of mine, he was actually at SHOT Show, Tyler Eli. Him and his wife, he actually has a sweet Instagram, Second Amendment Daddy-O.
Congratulations.
They just had a baby recently, by the way. But no, his company does the flashlights. And another flashlight that I like, the Asp people came up with a pretty good flashlight that kind of the same selector-ish, but you can plug it in to recharge it. But if you're not near a charger, you can take out that rechargeable battery pack, which is a shape as 1, 2, 3 batteries, and basically replace it on the run. I think that's a neat concept, just because so many people are about USBs and plugging stuff in and charging it. But you get into that pinch where you can't be near a charger, you can definitely grab that and throw in some spare batteries and keep moving in a survival situation. Or in any day life. Like I carry my flashlight even during the daytime. A lot of people ask me, like, why do you carry that flashlight? And then we come up in a situation where you got to look underneath your car or something, or some shady, shadowy area. And like, oh, that's kind of cool. You have a flashlight. It's like, yeah, I always carry one. Why wouldn't you?
Question.
So do I like the idea of carrying a tourniquet as everyday carry? Yes, I have a backpack that I carry a bunch of stuff in. I say a bunch of stuff, but my basic necessities in, and that kind of has an everyday carry kit. So IFAC pretty much. So it has a tourniquet, and I have all the basic impregnated gauze, some ACE wrap, and some chest compression stuff, some plastic stuff. Titus asked, what skill level combatives do I cover? I do some super basic stuff. It's kind of get you, basically what I do is cover stuff to get you that next level, fighting to that next weapon. I know a lot of people that I train with that definitely cover some advanced stuff that I would definitely advise get more training in and stuff. Like, I'm definitely not the end all be all. I have a way, not the way. It's kind of the way I cover it. And I like to think I have a pretty good grasp on things according to some of my experiences and knowledge. But I definitely surround myself with a lot of good people that I can depend on and point towards too, as far as the hand-to-hand combative stuff, the jiu-jitsu and, the judo and stuff. And then, as far as the blade stuff, some of the Kali stuff that they do, the Seok stuff is pretty good stuff in mine, because it's so incorporated, and you can be incorporated into everyday stuff. It's not just strictly, hey, this is a stuff for points. This is survivability stuff. Sorry,
oh no, you're fine. This is what everyone wants to know. I just have a quick question for the audience. We have 17, 18, 20 viewers. We're kind of bouncing around 20. Have you guys shared yet? Come on now. Like, you guys are killing me with the shares here. I've lost 8 hours of book time this week to bring you awesome shows. Come on now, y'all. Shares, please. Thank you. For those of you that have shared, thank you. We have awesome information. I deliver great content for everyone. Does anybody have any more questions for Joe while we're at it? I have my next question was what we kind of got to earlier, but then I interrupted you with some everyday carry, SIG P229. Love that gun. Kershaw folder. Elsa loves a Kershaw. I love a ZT, but I'm a little bit snotty like that. Surefire Mini, Total First Aid Backpack, and Explorer. I keep my first aid in my car. I don't carry it with me all the time. How about you, Joe?
Um, so I have some type of blowout kit near me. So my truck has one. I'll try to carry one in my wife's car when I get the chance. Um, but like I said, I have a little backpack that has a blowout kit and an IFAK kit. So it's one of those things that if I need to get to it, it's close by and it's in hand. But I don't. I mean, some people carry it on them, but there's a difference between carrying enough and carrying too much. Because then you start carrying all the tools you think you need on your body. You just get more bulkier and heavier and weighed down. You also got to think about speed versus security. So I'll have the basics on me and know how to deploy those. But I can also get to my first aid stuff if in the instance I may see a somebody that need it, or heck if I need it. But definitely, yeah. Like I said, I have a simple blowout kit. I actually get it from the American Rescue. Uh, I don't know. It's American Rescue is the name of the company that makes a pretty good little kit for like 30, $40, and it has all the basics in there, including like rubber gloves and stuff. But,
Um, do you think that combatives, jits, TIE fighting, taking a punch, do you think any of that comes back? Or am I like in trouble if I have to like face any of those scenarios, having been 20 years since I've taken like an actual punch? I mean, there was a point in time where it wouldn't bug me too badly, but now I have about zero confidence, maybe 1%, that if I had to take a really hard hit now, it would really kind of put me out of the game, maybe for good, and I'd be the definite loser of that fight.
yeah, no. So say for instance you didn't drive a car for 20 years, and all of a sudden somebody tossed you the keys. How confident would you be driving that vehicle in traffic? It's basically what you're talking about. Like, all right, you haven't driven in 20 years. Here's the keys. We're going downtown LA. We're going to drive. Like, how are you going to feel? Your butthole's going to pucker up like this. So it's one of those things. Same thing with like fighting and stuff. It's a perishable skill. Taking a punch to the face. It's it's a very it's the same. You need to feel like what it feels like, so you know how to react. Like, you don't want the first time to get punched in the face, especially in 20 years, to be somebody
Yeah.
assaulting you. Then you kind of rock back and you're taking that extra second or two to kind of to digest and feel like, all right, man, I just got punched in the face. Now what? Um, Training and getting a good sparring partner and whatnot, taking those, that progress up to that punch in the face, and they'll be like, crap, all right, I just got rocked in the face, and fighting through that is something that you definitely want to work through.
Oh, sounds like, man, there was a time that I enjoyed that, but like, I don't know. I'm a whole different person now. Like, the appeal of getting punched in the face and getting the crap kicked out of me like every other night all week long just does not hold the same appeal it used to.
Well, not only that, if you don't like getting punched in the face, I suggest train harder and prevent that punch from happening. Getting that situational awareness and know what to do to prevent that punch in the face.
Or just keep a babysitter with me at all times.
Yeah, that works too. Hired bodyguard. If you got the cash
I know,
for
I
it.
lucked out. I had like a whole awesome group when I was in Vegas. I guess I need to like train harder next time for my sleep deprivation, for in case I get attacked, in case I get like separated from my group, keep my Xanax on me in case I have another panic attack. Like, there's a lot of preparation that goes into this. I had no idea what it entailed. It's complicated
Yeah.
stuff, Rusty, perishable skills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let me scroll, see if we have more. Does anybody have more questions? Let's see here. All right, I have kept you for the better part of an hour at this point.
Questions, queries, complaints.
Yeah, we'll put the complaints in the complaint box. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. It looks like we're all good. I think we got everybody taken care of here. profile and be aware of your surroundings. Yes, being aware of one's surroundings, very important. Something Kendra is not really great at. I'm actually terrible at it. But I'm getting better. I'm making an effort. I have become precious in my, can you get some ice cream? Bring the woman some ice cream. She needs it. All right. Thank you so much for coming out and joining me tonight and answering everybody's questions and going over everything. I hope you will come back. I am so happy and excited that we finally sucked you into our social media bubble, and because it avails you to this group of people that have an actual eagerness for the knowledge that you possess. And this is a great method for delivering it, and I like helping to deliver that. So I'm here if you want to promote another class or anything else. Guys, roast us in the comments or let us know what you liked and loved. Inbox me if you have comments that you don't want to be public on the stream. I'll be putting Joe's links up in the description box as soon as we log out and I post this for playback. Apart from that, thank you guys all so much. I really appreciate everybody that tuned in. I love all you guys. Everybody said thanks to Joe. We're getting a lot of thank yous and they're lighting it up. And I want to thank you for all your help and for being awesome and really kind of taking me to task at SHOT, and then, you know, finding a group of my friends that would kind of keep an eye on me when you weren't, because evidently I need a lot of work.
Yeah. Oh, two on Tom Kyer's on. Just missed it. I got to get my wife some ice cream. She's going to stab me in the neck.
Gonna get bled out. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We love you all. Thanks, Joe. You guys have a good night. Morgan, enjoy your ice cream. All right. Bye, guys.